Did you know 9 best friends once ripped their tent open from the inside and ran barefoot into minus 40-degree darkness? Because whatever they saw made freezing to death feel like the safer choice? February 1959. The Cold War is ice cold, and so are the Ural Mountains. 9 young Soviet hikers, average age 22, are about to disappear forever. Igor Dyatlov, 23, born leader, sharp smile, sharper mind. Zenaida Kolmogorova, 22, the quiet poet who wrote letters to her mother every night. Lyudmila Dubinina, 20, fearless, laughed the loudest, loved the hardest. Alexander Kolovatov, 24, gentle giant everyone called Kola. Rustam Slobodin, 23, Jewish kid from the war generation, always humming Yiddish songs. Yuri Doroshenko, 21, Georgian firecracker who carried the group's guitar. Yuri Krivonashenko, 23, prankster, once smuggled a live chicken into a lecture hall. Nikolai Thibault Brignol, 23, French-Russian aristocrat blood, soft-spoken engineer. And Semyon Zolotaryov, 38, the old man of the group, war veteran, teeth capped in steel from Stalingrad. They weren't random tourists, they were family. They trusted each other with their lives, and in one night, every ounce of that trust turned into pure terror. They pick a slope called Kholat Syakhl in Mansi, Dead Mountain. Local tribes say 9 hunters vanished there centuries ago. Exactly 9. They say the mountain only takes in 9s. The hikers joke about it. They pose for a photo flipping off the peak. Last diary page, February 1st, 5:33 p.m. Wind is calm, temperature probably minus 20. We are warm, drunk on tea and friendship. Yuri K is trying to teach us Georgian dancing inside the tent. Impossible. Tomorrow we summit. Wish us luck. That was the last time any of them ever wrote the word tomorrow. Night. Temperature plunges to minus 40 with wind. Inside the tent, 9 bodies in a tight row. Boots lined up like soldiers, kerosene lamp glowing soft orange. Then something happens. We don't know what. But whatever it was hit every single one of them at the exact same second. 9 knives come out. They don't open the door. They slash the back wall in long, frantic cuts. Coats left hanging, boots left standing, food left steaming. They run downhill in socks, in underwear, one girl in a single sock. Imagine the level of panic that makes you abandon the other sock. 26 days later, searchers find the tent, still perfectly upright. Snow drifted halfway up the canvas, but the poles never snapped. Inside, a tablecloth spread with salami, bread, cocoa. A chess game frozen mid-move. Igor's guitar untouched, 9 long knife gashes, all from the inside. Outside, 9 columns of footprints heading 1.5 kilometers downhill. 8 are barefoot prints. 1 set has a single felt boot. Then the prints do something that still gives forensic experts chills. Some tracks simply end. No scuffle, no drag marks. Just snow, and then nothing. As if 4 of them were lifted straight up into the night. First discovery, the cedar tree, Yuri Doroshenko, and Yuri Krivonashenko. Shirtless, barefoot. They had climbed 15 feet up the tree and snapped thick branches with their bare hands. Knuckles scraped to bone. They built a tiny fire that barely melted the snow around it. Their fingers are charred black from holding the flames too close, desperate for any warmth. Autopsy. They died hugging each other, faces turned toward the tent. They could still see glowing faintly on the slope, eyes wide, mouths open in silent screams. The look on their frozen faces is described in the official report as extreme horror and confusion. 3 more bodies form a heartbreaking line back toward the tent. Igor Dyatlov is found sitting, arms stretched forward like he's still crawling. His fists are clenched so tight, the nails cut half moons into his palms. Zina Kolmogorova is 20 yards farther, sitting upright against the wind, diary still in her pocket. Last page blank. Rustam Slobodin is face down, a thin trickle of blood frozen in his ear from a hairline skull fracture. No external bruising. They died within sight of safety, less than a football field away from warmth and life. They just stopped. May 4th. Spring melt. Searchers follow a tiny stream into a ravine. They find a den made of pine branches. Inside, the final four. They had built a floor of clothing to keep off the icy water. Lyudmila Dubanina is on her knees, face smashed into the rocks. Her tongue is gone, cut or torn out at the root while her heart was still beating. Her eyes are missing. The sockets are empty, clean. Nikolai Thibault Brignol's skull is crushed on both sides. The medical examiner wrote, comparable to impact with a car at highway speed. Yet the skin on his face is unbroken. Semyon Zolotaryov and Alexander Kolovatov each have 12 broken ribs. No bruises, no scratches. The force came from something that squeezed without touching the skin. Now look at what they were wearing. Lyudmila has on Yuri Krivonishenko's pants, the ones burned at the cedar fire. Her feet are wrapped in strips cut from Yuri Doroshenko's sweater. Semyon is wearing Lyudmila's knitted hat. They robbed the dead to keep the living alive a few minutes longer. They shared every last degree of warmth, and it still wasn't enough. The classified details. Radiation on clothing up to 25 times normal background. One sweater, 9,900 counts per minute. Pieces glowed under UV. 50 miles away, unrelated witnesses saw bright orange spheres performing impossible maneuvers that night. A military meteorological station logged the same objects on radar. The entire area was sealed for 3 years. Even today, hikers are quietly turned away from that slope. The final roll of film. Frame 33. Normal nighttime shot of the tent. Frame 34. Pitch black, flash on. A tall figure stands between the trees. No reflective eyes, head tilted. Some say it's just a hiker. Zoom in 800%. There is no hiker. Psychologists still argue about the panic. Infrasound from wind can cause blind terror, but infrasound doesn't remove tongues. Secret Soviet weapon test? But weapons don't lift people out of their footprints. Avalanche? The slope is 23 degrees. Experts laughed at the 2020 official explanation. No debris. Tent still standing. Case closed anyway. Close your eyes. You're 22. You're surrounded by the 8 people you love most on Earth. You're warm. You're safe. Then something outside the tent changes everything in a heartbeat. You would rather die in minutes than stay inside one more second. What could possibly do that to 9 brave, rational souls at the exact same moment? Dead Mountain never returned their bodies whole. It never returned their voices. It never returned their futures. 66 winters later, the snow up there is still stained with questions no one is allowed to ask out loud. Some nights, Mansi elders say, if the wind is right, you can still hear it. 9 sets of bare feet running downhill, getting closer, then suddenly silent, as if the mountain finally caught them again. Whatever took them that night is still hungry. They just wanted to come home. The mountain had other plans.